Are you sure that my mom won't find out about this?
Really? This is our upgrade from what we had back in Texas?
Well, look on the bright side, honey. Your father's gotten a much better job working as a surgeon at Riverside Methodist.
Besides, it will be a good experience for you, John. A new school, a new home. We'll have a fresh start here.
It's not like I needed a fresh start, unlike you two.
That's enough. We've already talked about what happened plenty of times. Now the time has come for all of us to move on.
Hopefully once we get more of our stuff unpacked, we can get back to actual cooking.
Oh yeah, I heard a little bit about the new school that we are sending you to. It's had a really clean record, no drug use incidents, plenty of smart kids. They even have a good track team.
Oh, well that's good to hear. Were you afraid of me smoking the old devil's cabbage, or shooting up the boys in the locker room?
No, we just wanted you to know how good the school is that you're going to. So, do you think you will join the track team?
I don't know. I guess it sort of depends on how the rest of the team is.
Oh, come on, John. I thought you loved running with a team. Been running with the team back home for years.
I don't know these people, Mom. I might not like them, or they might not like me.
Hey, you're John Watson, right?
That I am. It already feels weird being here.
I can understand that. I'm Clark Bell. Principal Sampson assigned me to show you around the place.
Any reason he chose you to show me the ropes?
He thought I'd be a good fit because of my good nature. Now, we only have a few more minutes until the first bell rings, so I'll let you get to your locker and you can meet me in the homeroom.
Watch your step, Holmes! I thought you paid attention to everything that happens around you.
Believe me, Mr. Anderson, I do pay attention to every little detail that most others would gloss over. I just get my jollies out of seeing you in anger, hence why I intentionally crossed shoulders with you.
Jesus, man, you're such a pain.
What the hell was that? Who was that?
That's Alec Anderson. He's always been a bit of a douche, but he's always been.
No, not the big guy. The one wearing the trench coat.
That there is Sherlock Holmes. He's always been a bit of an oddball compared to the rest of us. That's mostly because of how smart and observant he's always been, and he's always been known to get on some people's nerves, so he's quite the character. Well, this is not what I would have imagined to go down. Sorry that this is how your first day ended up going.
Yeah, this is definitely not what I expected.
Good evening, Mr. Watson. I'm Principal Sampson. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, but maybe not under these circumstances.
I agree. I mean, what are the odds?
I can promise you that this isn't a regular thing around here. A student's death in such a manner as this has taken all of us by surprise.
I would imagine so.
Well, you should probably start heading home and just let the police do their jobs.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
You certainly will.
I hate to disappoint you, Mr. Holmes, but I'm afraid that I can't just let you look at the dead body of your fellow classmate.
With all due respect, Detective Lestrade, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in your team to try to solve this murder.
How could you possibly figure out that this is a murder that we're facing? She could have been taking drugs out behind the school and simply overdid it.
The victim was Rachel Fitzgerald, an honor student who was part of the math team. The likelihood that she became a regular user seems rather unlikely.
Listen, kid, I get that you're smart. Everyone knows that. This whole thing, though, it has nothing to do with you. So just focus on your classes and find a decent college to get you even smarter. I'll see you around.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm just as curious about this sudden death as you are. I'm John Watson, the new kid in this town.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I know. I've heard a little bit about you already.
Oh, I see. All good things, I would hope.
Well, not all of.
Oh great, I don't really care.
Okay, so if you can't observe her body, then how else do you plan to investigate that girl's death?
That's quite simple. I'll break into the morgue and observe her body there.
You're going there by yourself?
Oh, didn't you say that you were curious about this too? You're more than welcome to join me. Just meet me at my residence of 221 Baker Street around 8 o'clock. Then we'll venture to the morgue together.
I mean, yeah, I'm interested in solving this, but...
Wonderful. See you then, Watson. Ah, right on time. I like that very much.
I just want to get this done as soon as possible, hence why I'm here on time.
Are you sure you don't want an extra jacket for your late-night walk, Sherlock? It is quite cold outside. It's quite all right, Mrs. Hudson. 43 degrees won't kill me. Oh, and I see you have a friend with you. But I thought you didn't have any friends, Sherlock. It's a long story, and I'll spare you the details. This is John Watson, the newest student at our school. John, this is Mrs. Hudson, our Holmes housemaid.
Nice to meet you, Miss Hudson.
Oh, same to you, dear. Oh, now aren't you just adorable?
Thank you, I'm flattered.
We better get going. I'll be back eventually, Mrs. Hudson. Don't bother waiting up.
Where'd you learn how to pick locks?
Well, my brother taught me a long time ago. Perhaps I can show you on how to do it as well.
I think I'm gonna pass on that.
Here we go. This looks to be Fitzgerald's corpse. She's got scuff marks running all along her backside. Seems that Rachel was dragged behind the school.
There's this charm around her neck with a picture of a young boy in it.
Well, that would be her boyfriend, Matthew Bedford. Not much has been heard from him since this event.
Well, given that, it could pin him as a suspect.
It's a possibility, for sure, but the relationship between them didn't seem to indicate something like this to happen. Both of them were clean of any kind of drug use.
So she could have been seeing another guy that got her hooked on drugs. Oh, and I found this green pen in her pocket. If it means anything.
Well, we'll take all the evidence that we can get. Perhaps even figure out where this pen originated from. We could cut down our search significantly.
We should go.
Agreed. Move quickly.
Jesus, man. I can't believe that we broke into a morgue to search through a dead body.
Oh, I know. Very thrilling experience for both of us.
Okay, so what do we do now?
It's getting late, and we have school tomorrow. I think it's best that you just head home, Watson.
You sure? This is actually becoming kind of fun to do.
Well, believe me, I'm happy to hear that you're getting a thrill out of this experience like myself. But we all need to sleep sooner or later, as much as I hate it. And right now is my time. We'll discuss this further at school tomorrow morning.
If you say so. But before I go, what did Miss Hudson mean when she said that you don't have friends?
It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really have any friends, as I don't exactly need them.
Well, maybe you and I can become friends, because you seem pretty cool, Sherlock.
Thank you. And maybe we will become closer over time. Watson! You and me, we need to talk.
Jesus, Sherlock. You scared the hell out of me.
My apologies. Anyways, I noticed while we were searching over Rachel's body late last night that she had a very distinguished smell on her. It took me a bit of time to figure it out, but I realized that it was Davidoff Cool Water Cologne.
So it's unlikely to assume that whoever killed Rachel wore this brand of cologne.
Exactly. So I would use that nose of yours better than you ever had before, and quite literally sniff out a suspect.
Well, the thing I'm most curious about is Rachel being dragged behind the school without anyone else noticing.
Well, perhaps it was someone that she really trusted.
Or even someone that all of us trust.
Hey, John, you need help getting to any of your classes?
I think I've got this whole place mapped out.
Okay, if you say so.
Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Hey there, Sherlock. I'll see you in biology, I guess.
Yes, except you never actually really see me. You're always busy talking in your cliques.
I'm gonna go now.
I should get going too. We'll talk more about this later.
Hey, Sherlock. I've been having some trouble with algebra lately. I was wondering if maybe you could help me with that? Now, what would make you think that I would help you, Allison? Well, you're the smartest kid in our grade. I thought that you would know everything. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I don't quite know everything. And even if I did, I wouldn't be so quick to help everyone. So, is that a yes, or a no, or...
Hey there, little brother. What sadistic ritual are you up to this time?
As much as I'd like to entertain your ideas, Mycroft, I've got some work of my own to do at the moment.
What, you've got a big exam to study for already?
No, it's more of a study of my own, on my own time.
Right, I heard from Miss Hudson that last night you went out on a walk with someone.
For your information, it was a new kid that just recently moved here that I was with. I figured that I'd show him around the town a little.
Interesting, because that doesn't sound like something that my little brother would be willing to do.
Well, maybe you could say that I've turned over to a new leaf, in a sense.
I'll have to see it to fully believe it.
Alright, don't you have a meeting with your sweaty, wet scallywags today? How about you be a general nuisance to them instead of yours truly?
They're my swimming team for your information, and yes, I do have a meeting with them today. I just felt like annoying you first.
Oh, really? How thoughtful of you.
So, kiddo, how have your first few days been going?
They've been alright, aside from the dead body being found on the school property.
Oh, don't worry, dear. I'm sure that they'll find whoever is responsible for it soon.
You sound pretty confident about that, Mom.
Well, that Detective Lestrade who's been investigating the case seems to know what he's doing.
Maybe we should try and shy away from that topic? Have you made any new friends, John?
I made a few already. One of them being this kid named Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes? As in 221 Baker Street Holmes?
Yeah, that's the one.
I've heard about them. That family seems to be Oz in intelligence.
This just in, local teenager of Columbus, Ohio named Clark Bell was just arrested for the supposed murder of one of his fellow students, Rachel Fitzgerald. Police reported that they had found a small stash of drugs in Bell's locker after they had swept through all of the students' lockers across the school, with the drugs that they found being the same ones that they found in Miss Fitzgerald's system.
Good morning, Mr. Watson.
Morning, Mr. Sampson. You don't seem very happy today.
I'm not. I'm just in shock that another student in this very school had killed Rachel.
Yeah, I can't imagine how Rachel's family's feeling hearing that news.
Yes, I called Miss Fitzgerald myself last night. She was very upset to hear the news, but was glad to hear it from me personally. We used to be really close friends. Is something wrong, Mr. Watson?
No, I'm fine. Have a good day, Mr. Sampson. Sorry, am I coming in at a bad time?
Not at all, John. Please, take a seat. I'll talk to you later then, Sherlock. Unfortunately, I'm sure you will. What was that? Oh, nothing. Talk later, Allison. Have a good day.
Do you mind explaining to me what that all was about?
I most certainly will, but not now. We have much more important tasks at hand.
Definitely. I'm not convinced that Clark was the one who killed Rachel, though.
I agree. It doesn't add up at all. In all the years I've been a part of this school system, I've never seen Rachel and Mr. Bell interact even once.
Plus, he never gave off a drug user vibe around me. Or maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention.
You never know. Perhaps the drugs that they found in his locker weren't actually his.
You think Clark was framed?
Depends on if someone we suspect has access to his locker.
Now that you mention that, I gotta tell you something that I just noticed. I think this will help us find the real killer.
Now what would that be? Anderson, I have a favor to ask you.
Now what would that be, Holmes?
You punch me in the face.
Punch you?
Yes, punch me in the face. Did you not hear me?
Look, as tempting as it is for me to do that, are you sure about this?
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, I understand. Just make sure you bring him back home safe.
Oh, Moreland, what was that about?
Okay, I just got a call from the school. Apparently Sherlock started a fight between Alec Anderson and I was being asked to stay after to talk to the principal.
Oh dear. I've heard of his rivalry between Anderson before. I had no idea that it was still going after all these years.
He just can't seem to give it a rest, can he?
I just hope that young Sherlock is okay.
I'm sure he's fine. I didn't teach him how to spar for nothing.
You definitely taught him well, Moreland.
He might not be perfect, Miss Hudson, but I like to believe that I taught my children well how to survive in this cruel world.
Okay, did you really have to go and start a fight with one of those jocks?
It's all part of the plan, Watson. Just be ready in case anything happens.
So, you caused quite a scene in the halls earlier today.
Yes, suppose I did.
Why, though? I know you and Anderson had quite a lengthy rivalry, but can you two just drop it already?
Believe me, I wish I could, but his general attitude is far too much for me to handle. Plus, I guess you could say I had some anger inside of me that I needed to get out somehow.
I understand that. I've had some anger stirring up inside me for a while now, too.
Do you care to explain to me what you're referring to?
Without getting into the major details, I went through a really bad breakup with a close friend who had a daughter that adored me. Forget it. I've told you too much.
Oh, quite the opposite, Mr. Sampson. In fact, I think you told me just enough to reach an actual conclusion. You killed Rachel Fitzgerald.
What? What are you talking about?
I always had a strong feeling, but now I know for sure. Earlier today, after Watson was done chatting with you, he told me that you had called Mrs. Fitzgerald after Clark Bell's arrest, saying that she was happy to hear from you. She was the one that you were dating. She likely broke it off with you after she found out about your long history of drug abuse over the years. Out of anger and to get revenge on her, you decided to go after her daughter Rachel. After all, she thought it was pretty cool to have her new dad as the principal of the same school that she went to. You had pulled her aside to let her know that you could be trusted, even giving her one of your iconic green pens that you always keep in your desk drawer. Then you had given her a sample of the pills that you'd been using to try to get her into your habits, but you'd given her a lethal dose, killing her within minutes. From there, you dragged her body out to the back of the school, and Watson also mentioned to me that he had smelled a very certain smell on you, certain brand of cologne called David Off Cool Water, the same kind found on Rachel's body. Once you were afraid of getting caught, you tossed the rest of your stash into Clark Bell's locker after school hours. With all of that done, your revenge plan was complete, and you get away with it scot-free.
Wow, I'm very impressed with you, Mr. Holmes. I mean, I always knew you were smart, but damn. Well, unfortunately, now I can't exactly let you leave this room alive. You weren't right about everything, though, because I didn't dump all of my stash into Belle's locker. I still have a little extra.
I would take it that that's yet another lethal dose of your pills.
Indeed it is. You're gonna take these pills, and if you don't, then I'll just kill you myself.
Ah, I see. Either force me to kill myself, or you shoot me and stage it as if I did kill myself with your gun. Should have guessed.
You can go out the peaceful way or the bloody way.
Yes, well, I was thinking that you would try to take me out as well, so I came prepared with a little distraction of my own.
Are you sure that you're okay?
I'm just dandy, as long as he's being taken away.
Well, we have records of Samson's drug abuse over the years, and we have your friend John Watson as an eyewitness. It's safe to say that he'll be going away for a long time.
Oh, good. I would certainly hope that Clark Bell will be released from prison sometime soon, and be back to school, living his normal life.
Of course. And also your father called me saying that he's coming to pick you up, so be on the lookout for him. I've got to say, Holmes, you did a good job on cracking this case. I'm very impressed.
That means a lot, I suppose. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lestrade. I will say, that was a pretty good throw that you had against the window.
You've had practice, to say the least. So what do we do now?
I'm not quite sure. I guess if another crime occurs in this town that doesn't sound quite right, I suppose I'll be there to observe it closer. I trust that you'll be available to assist me if need be.
We'll see. We have lives to live outside of solving murders, Sherlock.
Well, studying people and what they do is my life, Watson. Maybe yours can be too. I do have one more question for you, though. Do you have any medical training of any kind? Well, just in case during a future investigation, one of us actually does get shot.
Right. I'd rather not think about that possibility.
Well, and you've seen what I've seen. Can't help but think of something like that.